about the Bible. We talking about the Pan-Africanism in the Bible for all our peoples out there that that want to discard Pan-Africanism, which is a holy order for a lot of people, a holy order. When you think about the leaders of other groups compared to many of the great minds that come out of the Pan-Africanism, that's a holy order. We have a lot of esteemed, respectable scholars that come up out of that holy order of Pan-Africanism. And we're gonna talk about it today. But if you got the Bible, then you got a very powerful tool that can lead you back to the motherland. Did you know that? And see, that's what's wrong with a lot of people. They believe us, but they not know us. You see, when you believe every motherfucking thing and you don't know shit, then you can't see the truth. You got to be able to know some shit. The scholars then gave you a lot of information that can show you the hidden truth, the esoteric truth of the Bible. Now, when we talk about Pan-Africanism, now let's be clear about uh we talking about our people all over the world helping to unify and uplift each other as a people wherever we see, black people. We should want to see the upliftment of that group, whether it's in Australia, whether it's in fucking Southern Asia, whether it's in Africa, whether it's over here in the Americas, wherever we see black people, because they oppress. Wherever you look at black people on the planet, they oppress. What is our commonality? We oppress. You know what I'm saying? So we should be trying to do what we can to help one another to come from up under that oppression. And so that's what Malcolm X said. We have to look at what we always look at what we don't have in common. Let's look at sometimes what we do have, and let's see where we could work. And if we got some areas where we could work, let's focus on that. The areas where we don't see eye to eye, well, we ain't got to deal with that. We ain't, unless it's so, it got to, but if it's something spiritual or religion, we have to discard that. Leave your religion at home. That's what Malcolm X said. We come out here on something that if you're if you're being oppressed by the government, you're being oppressed by the military, you're being oppressed by the police. This is shit we can, we have in commonality. Damn near wherever you look. Black people's and shit is being oppressed by these governments and, these goddamn tyrant rulers and shit like that. And so we just trying to get free so we can build a society that's custom to our culture and our reality, to our spirituality. We have to get from up under these goddamn tyrant ass rulers, and so let's focus on that. Let's come out of that little nigga shit where we arguing about every little, little, whatever it is, gym shoe. Nigga arguing over a color. Nigga arguing over another nigga coming over here trying to get a couple dollars out the white man. Okay, if you ain't getting it, somebody else want it, nigga. That's just all that is. You get mad because another nigga want to get a dollar or two. So, but when we talking about the Bible opens up in Africa. That's clear. When we talk about the Garden of Eden, we talking about the garden of the Lord. When you go straight in Genesis chapter 2, you see that it opens up in Ethiopia. That's very clear. Okay, it opens up. And so my thing is to all my family out there, and I know I'm reaching a lot of people. They telling me I'm reaching them. And these is a lot of people that come into quote unquote consciousness through one of these other groups. You see, they don't come as a lot of them they don't promote Dr. Ben and they still out there, but you got to be in tune with Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Ivan. You got to be in tune with them. You got to somebody got to lead you to them. Okay, they not the most popular. It's a different algorithm today. So if you get off into the algorithm, you're going to see a lot of FBA. You're going to see a lot of indigenous this. You're going to get into the occult shit. all of that. They trying to put, and this is by design. And so in order to get off in the algorithm, you got to put these motherfuckers in the headlock. You know what I'm saying? You have to go on the battlefield, and you have to assume and take it into their chest with their own goddamn the information that they putting out here. This is how you put the Pan-Africanism back in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do that. You don't sit out here and become extinct because you ain't got you ain't got nothing, vibrant that you can create and teach. And that's what teaching is about. Coming up with a new vibrant way of hitting these youth. You see what I'm saying? So whatever they, hip hop. I knew then I was going to have to get on the hip hop. A lot of these niggas is into the hip hop. You got to touch on that. You're going to reach a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And I did that. You know what I'm saying? I know how to touch the youth, and I know how to, when the algorithm is moving one way, I know how to ride this shit like a surfer. You ride the wave, and when you get in there, you lead a lot of people to truths that they never heard before. And I seen a lot of people, they start listening, they come through another door, but then when they see that goddamn truth and it's explained to them, you see a lot of them coming back over into Black Power, coming back over into Pan-Africanism, where they can really control the narrative, because it's about you getting literature, it's about you getting the fucking knowledge to educate yourself, and not be a goddamn sheep and follow some nigga and you don't even know where the hell this nigga going. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing about Pan-Africanism, where it empowers the individual to do their own fucking research. So they understand the information because they research the information. These niggas just show up and niggas sound good and and they just like the preacher man. It's a preacher thing. It's a feel good thing. Yeah, it's a feel good thing. Why ain't black people talking at all? They ain't gonna talk about Kemet. Why are they gonna talk about Kemet? They ain't gonna talk about Kemet. That's gonna expose every fucking thing. You see what I'm saying? When you talk about Kemet, that's gonna expose the Bible. That's gonna expose Islam. That's gonna expose Judaism and all the offshoot shit, including the NOI, the Moorish Science Temple. All of that shit come out of the Nile Valley. If the Nile, Egypt don't need no explanation. Egypt don't lean on nothing. It don't even call the names of Christianity, Judaism, or Islam. You can see damn near every goddamn organization on the planet, one way or another, is tethering on Egypt. Even these niggas over here got to lean on Egypt. Egypt was in America. That's tetherism. That's leaning on Egypt. You can't stand on your own laurels. You don't have that type of evidence. You don't have the tons and thousands of pyramids and tombs. You ain't got shit. So you have to come up with another narrative that the people respect. Oh, Egypt was in America. Oh, yeah, well, where is it? I've been to Egypt. I ain't seen nothing over here even come close to what was over there. So it's a true distortion of truth. If a motherfucker went to Egypt and you let a nigga tell you that Egypt is in America, you got to be the dumbest nigga ever to exist on the planet Earth. Okay? And what's key about Egypt, because you're dealing with civilization. Truth is truth. Acknowledge the motherfucking truth. If you got to live a lie, a narrative of a lie, you know what I'm saying? Shame on your ass. Go right on ahead, because you ain't going nowhere. Because nigga, long after your ass is gone, the next generation gonna come on this planet. They gonna go to Egypt. They can go anywhere else on the planet. And when they come to Egypt, they gonna say, this is where the shit popped off. They ain't gonna need no book. They ain't gonna need no narrative, no nothing. Literature, language, writing, universities, all the arts and sciences come up out of goddamn Egypt. That's why you niggas can't even build a clubhouse today. You niggas talking about mounds and shit. I love mounds. That's a certain area, but we not living in that area no more. That's like going back to the time of hunters and gatherers and shit. Man, we out here dealing with all type of high science. That's what's wrong now with this AI shit. Yeah, motherfuckers need to learn it, but a lot of motherfuckers gonna be left behind because technology is moving in that way. It's about technology. You see what I'm saying? If you don't move in the way of technology, your ass gonna be left behind. And so now, when it's come time to explain, well, where is your civilization at? You ain't got none. You know why? Because you didn't move in the way of technology. So what they do is they create all these mythologies on what happened. Well, a flood came through and washed all the literature away, and or the white man burned all the literature. You ain't where's your temples at? In stone, you know what I'm saying? Where you we talking about? Because when you start building in stone, that means you trying to stay here. You building, shit that won't perish. You trying, to stay for eternity. You moving in a way of eternity. You're not your information is not perishing. You need to have this information for the next generation. Y'all ain't got shit. And people's is pushing people back in an area. Why the AI and technology and a lot of that shit is, but it can be used. Those who got the wisdom to use it can use it. And a lot of these Neanderthals is getting mad at that. And then black peoples are not able to use the AI and not create no fake shit, because I don't want no fake shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to use it for the graphics and shit, but the narrative is the facts. I'm not changing it. Some people get in there and get to creating all type of shit to, like mystical, magical and shit, and to, try to, make an illusion of reality and shit. And that's going to fail too. But that's why you got to be on the AI. Even the peoples in the culture must adopt the AI and get in there and take that truth and manifest it in the most prevalent technology of the day, AI, or your ass gonna be left behind. That's just the reality of it. And so a lot of these groups, you understand, these is has-been motherfuckers tethering on Africa. The Bible, they believe in the Bible. The Bible, without Africa, there is no Bible. But you delineating from Africa at the same time, you's a fucking Christian. You go to church on goddamn Sunday, go in there and read. And I'm thinking to myself, these niggas is so confused. They need to be attacked. If you leave these niggas out here to lead these babies in some bullshit like this, and you can see the hypocrisy right there. Ain't nobody could argue with that. You know what I'm saying? Right there, you see the fucking hypocrisy and what the fuck they teach. And people won't expose these niggas for what they, trying to mislead the people, mislead the next generation in some garbage. But they faltering. They're faltering. You know why they're faltering? Because people like generalseti is out here exposing them for what they, and putting the truth out here in their face. You see what I'm saying? That's exactly why they are not turning back, you see, from the lies that are being taught in the FBA. You see? So, yeah, family, continue to tap in with the general, and you feel what I'm saying? Get over there to Patreon. That's exactly what you do. And click that link down there in the video description. And I'll see y'all black here in a minute. Black Pop.